Hello and welcome to another exclusive review with me, Alex Belfield, here at celebrityradio.biz, where last year we had over 12 million minutes viewed on YouTube. You can check out all of our hundreds of interviews and reviews at www.celebrityradio.biz. We're the number one reviewer for theatre in the UK and Las Vegas. And tonight we went to see Dear Evan Hansen, the multi-award winning Broadway smash hit that's opening in the West End in 2019. We were delighted to join the sold-out house to see this world-renowned production and find out, is it worth the hype? The producers have done incredibly well, getting people excited about the fact it's sold out and you need to rush for tickets, and this is the best thing since sliced bread. Well, is it? What I can tell you is it has a 5-star star. It also has one of the most boring and depressing storylines I've ever experienced in my 25-year career in show business. What a week it's been. We found out on Sunday that you can't have men playing dames anymore. Then on Tuesday we found out that you can't clap in theatres because it offends people who've got sensitive ears. Then we find out you can't say ladies and gentlemen on Wednesday. And then on Thursday I go and see a show about millennial narcissists who are obsessed with the tippy-tappy, being online sensations, lying for affirmation, all over the suicide of a young man. That's basically the story of Dear Evan Hansen. I have to be honest with you, there aren't many things positive I can say about this show. It's one of the most boring sets I've ever seen. It's one of the most repetitive stagings of a set I've ever seen. The music is, well, too cluttered at some points, too repetitive at others. The sound itself is very bassy and overwhelming in places. But there are two moments when the star gets to shine. The Dear Evan trolls have already ironically been on slagging me off, which is very interesting, isn't it? When you make a comment online now, unless you're part of the crowd that agrees with everyone, you're suddenly isolated, bullied, trolled, and called names like you're a dick, you don't know what you're talking about. And the irony that I tested earlier, putting out a negative tweet about this play to see what reaction I got, bearing in mind this is a show about a guy who kills himself, and then the lies and the fallout from social media. It's so ironic that these dopey millennials have completely missed the point. Fortunately, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to kill myself, although judging by their replies, they hope I was. My day started with a delay of 155 minutes on the train to London. I then went to see Phantom, a 5-star, magnificent, classy piece of theatre, which after 33 years is still timeless. Of course, we're recording this the day after the roof collapsed at the Piccadilly Theatre mid-performance. I have to tell you, there were points tonight where I wished it had fallen on me just to make a quick exit. But we did make it to the end, and it was for one reason only. And that reason is Dear Evan Hansen's star in the UK, Sam Tutty. Sam really is a piece of work. I mean, he's young and handsome, he's got great energy, but my God, he works his arse off in this production. He starts off innocent and gentle and fragile and ends up being commanding and owning his place on the stage. His transformation throughout the show is hugely impressive. At the end of Act 1, he has this amazing long 5 or 6 minute number where he just vocally shines. And it is tricky to shine in this show because a lot of it is deliberately missung, it seems, where it's either screamed or shouted or done what sounds like off key. Nevertheless, Sam does get to shine in this, and it is worth going to see only for him. Doug Colling plays his part incredibly well as Connor Murphy, and Jack Loxton was also impressive, and interestingly, he played the role of Christopher in The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, which, by the way, has very many similarities in the beginning of this play, when it began with these screens that are constantly whirling with tweets and Facebook and all this stuff. I find it distracting, and this set to me looked cheap. I mean, you've got one revolve that goes round and round and comes off and goes up and down like a hooker's drawers. It's infuriating, but this is a very simple set. I guess I'm old-fashioned. What dawned on me about this production, that it is an American-style production. This is not your Les Mis. This is not your Mary Poppins. This is not even The Lion King, let alone Mamma Mia. This is sort of understated modern theatre, which for me just comes across as dowdy and often boring. It's deliberately underplayed. Everything is meant to be real life, and even the topic itself of mental illness and depression and finding your true self. There's endless songs that go on and on about be yourself, find yourself, play with yourself. I wanted to take myself in hand and drag myself out the building. Jack has a beautiful personality that really shines in this piece. His comic timing is quite brilliant. This show is very sarcastic. It's very sort of American sarcasm, though. There's no campery to it. There's none of the British silliness of humour. There's no, as I say, double entendre or anything like that. It's sort of all facetious, cutting, zinger humour, which I find tiring after a minute. But again, this is a Broadway show that's won many awards. Listen, what do I know? I obviously know nothing. This is a Broadway smash hit. It's sold out in the West End. But I'm curious by the demographic of the audience. It seems to me if you're a millennial narcissist, you'll find this fabulous because it's all about finding your inner self and being tempted by the dark side of fame and popularity, and then suddenly having your epiphany and realising, in fact, you're just an arsehole. The only thing I can say about this show, the music is instantly forgettable. The set is one of the worst I've ever seen in the West End. But the stars within it, Sam Tutti particularly, really does give his all, and it is a magnificent scale role. I mean, this guy is never off the stage, has to pour his heart out. How he's going to be able to do this? I think he's only doing 5, he might be doing 6. He's sharing the role with Marcus Harmon, who I'm sure will get a following. For both of these guys, they're going to become big stars because, as I found out tonight during my little test of the little trolls who love to be keyboard warriors on the tippy tappy, they come out of the work big time. And there is a moral in this. You might disagree with my opinions. You might think I'm wrong, and you're entitled to say that. But the way you reply is fascinating. And think about how you reply to my review. You might not like it, and you're entitled to think I'm a dick. But should you be saying that? Because if I'm fragile and weak, you don't know whether I'm about to jump off the bridge. And that's the moral of this story. And what I love about this show is it underscores this week what we should be doing is finding ways of including the minority so that we all become one. And as I sit here now and see the venomous, vile tweets from people like Oliver Hickling, who says, "You're a twat. Just face it, mate." You don't know the consequences of your tweets. Don't try and troll me for your own edification and likes, because that's the moral of this play, is what are we prepared to say to be popular? I'd rather go with my heart and tell the truth and prepared to be unpopular. And we can debate all day whether this is a good or bad show. My opinion might be right, it might be wrong. Doesn't matter, it's an opinion. And like I always say, opinions are like arseholes. Everybody has one and most stink. You've been listening to another 2-star review by me, Alex Belfield, here at Dear Evan Hansen in the West End. Sold out. Just keep checking for tickets. Congratulations to the talent within the show. It wasn't for me, but I admire them and their tenacity for working so hard for this very long show, by the way, as well. It's 1 hour, 20 minutes, the first act. A good 25 minutes too long, in my opinion. It ended about 3 times, but there you are. You've been listening to another review by me, Alex Belford, here at celebrityradio.biz. Don't bother replying, because you won't bother me. And if you do, you might get a reply back. And then, of course, you'll play the victim, and the consequences could be severe. Let's think about the moral of Dear Evan Hansen. Ta-da.